Hello, my name is Grandma Jenny, and I'm going to share a story with you today, a book about tornadoes and other storms. And so, what I want you to know is I'm doing this on a program called Caribou, and also that I work with retired senior volunteers of Dane County, RSVP. And during the school year, which is starting now, I'll be in the classroom helping with reading and writing and sometimes math. But in summer, and I'm still at a summer mindset, even though I know it's school time, I like to read books. And so today we're going to read Tornadoes and Other Storms. And we're going to take a look at it right now. Here's the way that looks. This is the book, The Awesome Book of Tornadoes and Other Storms. And it's written and illustrated by Flower Pot Press. The introduction says, "Did you know that dust devils can be half a mile high, that hurricanes can pile up boats like bath toys, that it can rain frogs, fish, even school children? Discover for yourself these amazing facts about violent weather, from hailstones as big as tennis balls, but much heavier, to the storm surge that can fling boats over a mile inland in this awesome book about tornadoes." So we won't read the rest of that. We'll just start with the book. Ooh, this is a good story. I'm going to try to make the page look bigger for me, and let's see how that works. There we are. That's a little bigger. Way up here it says, in 1931, a Minnesota tornado tossed a railroad car, 80 feet through the air. Cloudy memories. The weather is a powerful force. William Rankin experienced this when he bailed out of his plane in a violent thunderstorm. He was bounced around in the clouds, battered by the wind, for a terrifying 40 minutes before finally parachuting to safety. The wind was stronger than his parachute. Whoa. In 1876, Denotho Sircar of Bangladesh clung to a broken branch all night to save himself in a flood that washed away millions of homes. Ooh. Look at this one. The terrible hurricane that hit the Caribbean in 1780 killed 20,000 people. The wind was so violent that it hurled a 12-pound cannon 100 feet. So here's a picture of that cannon, and it went 100 feet. Oh, that's a lot nice. Let's see what else we can see here. Deanna Wyatt and her boyfriend actually flew around the room when a tornado hit their apartment in 1965. The building collapsed, but miraculously, they both survived. At any one time, about half the earth is covered with clouds. Did you know that? I didn't. Around the equator, there are about 30,000 thunderstorms every day. Woohoo. Storm brewing, thunderheads. Look at this. Sometimes people call that an anvil top, but anvils are an old-fashioned thing that we don't hardly see anymore. Thunderheads or storm clouds are called cumulonimbus clouds. Cumulus means heaped, and nimbus means rain cloud. You can see fluffy, low-level cumulus clouds building up into tall thunder clouds in warm weather. Some cumulonimbus clouds can be over 9 miles high. That's up there. Here's an experiment to try. Leave an upturned jar on a saucer of water in a sunny spot for an hour. The heat of the sun will cause some of the water to evaporate and rise as invisible water vapor. Watch the condensation forming on the glass as the invisible water vapor cools and it starts to rain. Rain from a jar and a saucer. Amazing. Here's about clouds. Here's cold, dry air coming this way and warm air over here. Clouds can be formed in many ways. In this case, a warm air mass moves in from the right. It rises over the cold air, moving in from the left. Rain forms where the masses meet. So where's it going to rain? Right about here, I betcha. Now there's something down here that's really tiny. The hole of the cloud is low. The top is very high. Oh, the base of the cloud, I bet that's this. The air cools on its as it gets higher and droplets form. In hot weather, warm, wet air and dust rain from cumulus clouds. Did you know there was dust in rain? I didn't know that. So let's read that again. The base of the cloud is low here, and the top is very high. The air cools as it gets higher, and droplets form. So here it's going up and up and up and getting cold, and then there's the droplets. In hot weather, warm, wet air and dust rise to form cumulus clouds. Oh, the dust is in the clouds. Okay. U.S. Park Ranger Roy Sullivan survived 7 lightning strikes. Wow. Most people die after or because of only 1 lightning strike. I don't know how that happened. He survived 7 times lightning. Thunderstruck. Thunder is the sound of lightning. The moving air inside a thundercloud builds up static electricity. This causes a huge flash of lightning that heats the air to 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The air expands and explodes, making a thunderclap. Here's a little tip. How far away is the storm? Count the seconds between the time when you see the lightning and the time when you hear the thunder. Count 1 mile for every 5 seconds. So if we see lightning and then we go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, boom, there's the thunder. And then we know that it's about a mile away. Don't try Benjamin Franklin's famous 1752 experiment with a kite and a key to prove the electrical nature of lightning. A Swedish scientist tried it out for himself in 1909 and was electrocuted. Yeah, because that 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit heat and the electricity just went right through him and he died. Reports of ball lightning have not been scientifically verified. A ball of lightning supposedly floated around a hotel room in France before drifting out the window and exploding nearby. Oh, here comes a plane. Sorry about that. Look at this picture. My goodness. In 1894, a hailstone that landed in the United States contained a frozen turtle. Woo, look at that. A frozen turtle. Huge hailstones. Some hailstones are the size of tennis balls. In India, these huge hailstones smashed car windows, flattened crops, and killed thousands of birds. Many farmers now insure themselves against hail damage, not only in India, but in the United States too. The largest hailstones fell during a storm in Bangladesh It killed 92 people in 1986. Each hailstone weighed up to 2 pounds, almost 1 kilogram. So how'd you like a 2-pound block of ice falling on your head? I wouldn't like it. True or false? Firing shells at clouds can prevent hailstorms. The answer, true. Anti-hail gunners in Uzbekistan fire shells at the sky, scattering tiny particles into the clouds. The smaller hailstones that cling to them melt before reaching the ground. And what does it say here? Can you find the fish? Oh, is there a fish in this picture? Here's something. A hailstone has layers like an onion. It picks up a layer of ice each time it goes up and down in the thundercloud. So maybe that's how it got the turtle, because it was going up and down and it picked up some water from a lake or something. That's a mystery to me. Look at here. Is that the fish? Fish? I guess so. In 2003, 27.5 inches, that's not quite a yard, of snow fell on Boston in 24 hours. That's more than an inch of snow in an hour. Wow. How far is 27.5 inches on you? That would be at least up to my knees, probably higher. Blizzard behavior. If you get stuck in a blizzard, lie down. This is a good survival tip, as the blanket of snow traps a layer of warm air around the body. Remember to make an air hole. There's somebody in the snow, and this is his air hole that he's making here. Animals often survive in the snow this way. Snowflakes form when water vapor rapidly freezes as crystals around dust particles. So snowflakes have dust in them. Each snow crystal has 6 sides, and each one is unique. Unique means different. Catch some on a dark glove and study them quickly through a magnifying glass. Look at all these different shapes. The world's lowest temperature of minus 128 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded in the Antarctic. That's down at the South Pole. Here's about avalanches. Avalanche, a weakness in a layer of snow on a slope or a precipice, can start an avalanche. As thousands of tons of snow roar downhill, it can reach speeds of over 186 miles per hour, burying everything in its path. St. Bernard dogs were first kept by monks in the Swiss Alps to rescue people trapped in the snow. They wore barrels of brandy for reviving the patients. Look at that. There's a dog with a little barrel around his neck. And here's this camper with his backpack and everything. And what does it say? Oh, they're calling it a rucksack. Can you find the rucksack? Well, yeah, we just did. Okay. Monster monsoons. 30,000 people were made homeless in the Paris floods of 1910. A monsoon can last for up to 6 months. I think that means a rainy season. Water from the Indian Ocean evaporates in the winter and then falls as torrential rain in the summer monsoons. Farmers in low-lying parts of India can lose everything. In July, Bombay, India got 8 times as much rain as New York City. Oh, here, look at this one. Showers of frogs have occurred in many places, such as India and England. Other showers have included crabs, fish, and jellyfish. Oh my gosh, raining frogs. Can you imagine? That would be a really creepy thing to be out in. Land is flooded when rain makes a river rise over its banks. Noah's flood is based on fact. That's a story in the Bible. There were floods in the Tigris and Euphrates Valley in Turkey and Mesopotamia around 4000 BC, which is 6,000 years ago from now. Wow. Oh, here, a rain gauge. You can make your own rain gauge from a flat-bottom plastic bottle. Find out how much rain falls in July where you live. So you cut it, and this is the top of the plastic bottle. It's cut and placed upside down, no cap. Measurements marked in inches on the outside. Bottom filled with water to the point where something starts, measurement starts. Okay. So if it rains an inch, it would go up to your first inch mark. If it rains 2 inches, it would go way up here. So that's one way to measure how it rains, how much it rains. Weathermen do that all the time. They have a little fancier piece of equipment, but they do the same thing. Winds in a hurricane can reach a powerful 224 miles an hour. Whoa, that's faster than NASCAR's. The eye of the hurricane. Hurricanes have eyes. Look at this. See, that looks a little bit like it could be an eye. The currents of air in the hurricane spiral upward to form a rotating circle of wind around the central chimney. This calm center is called the eye. Oh, and here it says, can you find a satellite? Because this must be a satellite picture. Do you see it? Do you see it? Maybe you do. Hurricane Andrew caused $465 billion worth of damage. True or false? Hurricanes are given girls' and boys' names. The answer, true. Atlantic hurricanes are given alternate girls' and boys' names in alphabetical order from the beginning of the season. This makes them easier to reference. That means to remember and talk about later on. Winds over 186 miles per hour can cause unimaginable destruction. In 1992, Hurricane Andrew hit an area south of Florida, tearing roofs and walls off houses, smashing trees and cars, and piling up boats like tiny plastic toys. Hurricanes are wind and rain together, so they're a problem. Infrared pictures from satellites provide color-coded information about tropical storms. Scientists can usually track their progress and warn people in time to prepare. This is kind of like some of the pictures we see on our weather news on TV, except when you have this kind of a circle, that shows it's probably a hurricane or maybe could get to be one. Tropical tantrums. What's a tantrum? That's when you get mad and stamp your feet and holler and cry, and it's like a temper tantrum. But this is a tropical tantrum. Typhoons can sink ships. Tropical storms can whip up mountainous waves. The highest wave ever measured was 85 feet, but the highest ever seen was 111 feet. Ships are helpless in such stormy seas. And here's about the word cyclone. The word cyclone comes from the Greek and means the coil of a snake. Oh, yeah. Even a warship, such as an aircraft carrier, can crumple like tin in a typhoon. This is what happened to the USS Hornet, pictured on the right here, near Okinawa, Japan in 1945. My goodness. True or false? Hurricanes, tropical cyclones, and typhoons are all the same thing. The answer, true. Tropical storms are called hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean, cyclones in the Indian Ocean, and typhoons in the China Sea, and willy wallies in Australia. Well, I didn't know willy wallies. So here's hurricanes. And then, what does it say? Cyclones in the Indian Ocean, that's here. And typhoons in the China Sea, that's over here. And willy wallies down there. A storm surge carried this boat below, this boat here, nearly a half mile inland. Huge waves can surge in ahead of a hurricane, flooding low-lying areas. So this guy here got pushed in from the water almost half a mile. Whew. Raining fish are sucked up and carried far away before falling. Here's something, traveling by tornado. Tornadoes can make children fly. Tornadoes are small, ferocious storms. People, animals, and whole houses can be picked up and dropped some distance away. In 1986, 13 Chinese school children were carried 12 miles by a tornado before being deposited completely unharmed. Wow. Can you find 13 children? I tried. I couldn't quite find that many, but you might be able to see them. Let's see. 1, 2. Is this one? Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I still can't find 13. You got to have better eyes than mine, I guess. I see the fish, though. Look at this picture. This is a picture of a dust devil in the desert. Is a miniature tornado. Spinning winds whirl sand and dust to heights of between 300 and 3,000 feet for 91 and 914 meters. So the dust devils can be 300 feet, which is as tall as the building, or 3,000 feet, which is about where you see jet airplanes flying overhead. Wow. Oh, look at this, is a water spout. A whirling cloud turns into a water spout as water is sucked up. It is spectacular, but not terribly dangerous. So here this cloud must be going around in a circle and it's pulling the water right up to itself. Remarkable. A tornado or twister comes down out of thunderclouds like an elephant's trunk. A spinning funnel of cloud that sucks up dust and soil. The funnel gets tighter and the wind gets faster, up to 500 miles per hour. Wow. It was a tornado that carried Dorothy away in The Wizard of Oz. Twister chasers. People chase twisters. The more we understand about tornado, the easier it will be to predict when one will be coming along. Scientists study tornadoes by following them and putting monitoring equipment in their path to assess their strength and learn as much about them as possible. Look at what's he doing here. True or false? People can make their own twisters. True, but not full-size ones. Japanese scientist Tetsuya Fujita studied miniature tornadoes made with dry ice. He developed the Fujita scale, which rates tornado intensity. You'll hear that on the weather sometimes. This is a class 2 tornado, or this was a class 5, I think, is the worst. What does it say here? Once in 24 hours, 148 tornadoes blew in the southern and midwestern United States. Is that what that really says? 148 tornadoes? Wow. An eyewitness described the tornado in 1928. The great shaggy end of the funnel hung directly overhead. There was a strong, gassy odor. The walls were rotating clouds with constant flashes of lightning that zigzagged from side to side. And this is a picture of kind of the drawing of what he saw. This scientist fires a rocket into thunderclouds. Wires attached to the rocket trigger a charge of lightning. My goodness. That'd be fun to try. The hot Santa Ana wind makes people behave strangely. Stripping sandstorms. A sandstorm can easily strip the paint off a car. Loose dust and sand in deserts is whipped up by the wind, flinging millions of stinging grains at every surface. Sand-carrying winds carve desert rocks into strange shapes. Yeah, people go to see those in some parks. And here's a sand-carved rock found in an American desert. Look at, what's this person doing? Industrial sand blasting is used to strip dirt and paint off old buildings to make them look like new again. In Madison, we have the Capitol downtown, you know, and it's made out of stone. And when I was a kid, it was a pretty dark color because it had a lot of coal and soot dust on it and so on. But then they sandblasted it and it looked white again. It was kind of amazing. A terrifying 9,000-foot high sandstorm turns the sky dark and sandblasts everything in its path. I bet it does. 9,000 feet, that's higher than airplanes fly. True or false? The Sahara has always been a desert. What do you think? False. Climate can change. Cave paintings in the Sahara show that it was once home to all types of animals that could only live where there was water and grass. See, they've got these elands or gazelles. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but it's what people painted pictures of the animals around them long ago. There was a dust storm in the American Midwest in the 1930s. The rain failed and the wind blew the dry soil around. Farmers couldn't grow anything. Livestock died and people left the region. Yeah, weather can cause people a lot of problems. Oh, here's the glossary. This will tell us some of these words. Air pressure, the weight of the air pressing down on the land. High pressure usually means good weather, and low pressure usually means bad weather. Avalanche, snow or rocks or ice falling rapidly down a mountainside. Climate, the weather a particular place has come to expect over a long period of time. Condensation, when a gas, such as water vapor, cools to form the droplets of liquid. Clouds are formed this way with droplets of water. You know, when you take a cold can of pop out of the refrigerator and then let it sit on a hot day, it gets all wet on the outside. That's condensation. Currents of air, stream of air moving from a high to a low pressure area. Evaporation, when a liquid, such as water, is heated and turns into a gas and then rises into the air. Hailstones, pieces of water formed in thunderclouds that fall to the ground, often in warm weather. Oh, I said pieces of water. It's not pieces of water. It's pieces of what? Ice. Whoops. Now we're done. Well, thanks a lot for sharing and for listening to that book today. I hope that we'll be able to be together again soon and read another book. Have fun at school. Bye-bye.